Howdy folks, today I'm going to show you my version of a cheater plate. There are many people who do this, and today it's just going to be a simple plate on the wheel with no texture. I'm going to be using this for a like a cake stand, cooking or candy stand piece. I'll have a photo for you. So really I just want plain plates. If you were going to apply texture, I would do it either after if you're stamping, or if you're going to be doing it with like a pressed vinyl mat, I would say apply it now, and then when you're on the wheel head, you will just compress it into the bat. But for now, I'm preparing my clay and I'm smoothing it. I'm going to put my name on it. Then I'm going to turn it over and smooth it out again. So the clay here is 1/4 inch minimum. It's better for these if they're a little tiny bit thicker, especially if you're going to roll texture into them. So no more than 3/8. I would say this is maybe a 1/16 over a 1/4 inch. Now this is recycled clay I'm using, and it looks like I have a little bit of an air bubble. So I'm going to go ahead and take care of that by pressing in there. Actually 3 air bubbles. If the bubble is big enough, I'm just going to take a little piece of clay, smush it in there, and then smooth out. Alright, for this one I'm not going to cut my circle out ahead of time. So that's an option for you to do. I'm going to cut it while it's on the wheel. Alright, so let's go to the wheel. Okay, so I'm showing you this process from a kick wheel that I have on my property, but you can do it on any wheel head. And I don't have bat pins, so I'm using clay to secure the bat down. The first thing I'm going to do is just put a little moisture in the, not all over the bat and not on the ends, but just kind of towards the middle. And then I'm going to place the clay on. So my bat, I know, is not perfectly centered on here, but it doesn't matter. This is a big piece of clay, and I just need the 10 inches for the first plate. So the first thing I'm going to do is just go through and compress it down. And then I'm going to find the middle. So this becomes important later on when you're trying to cut the hole out for the stacked plates. So that's where the center is. All right, from there, I want a 10-inch plate. So I'm going to measure from here, and I'm going to mark where 5 is. So that's my mark. That's what I'll be trimming. So notice that I had both hands together and firm and rested on my leg. That's going to give you the best results when you're trying to cut. All right, now the next step is to lift the edges. Before I do that, I have some rough parts, so I'm just going to take my sponge and smooth that out. Now I'm going to take my wood tool and I'm going to gently lift. So I'm getting it wet and I'm coming in and I've lifted. So I'm going to go just a couple revolutions with the lift like this. And then now I'm going to take my sponge and continue. So I just want a gentle lift, something like that. And then to finish it off, I'm going to take my fingers and do like an H, but with a sponge, just to smooth the edge there. So I don't want to see, when I'm looking at this, I want to see a graduation, just a graceful edge, nothing going straight down and with a sharp point it looks. So I think that looks good, and now I'm going to go do the other one. All right, so I'm going to do my second one here. So once again, I'm going to start off with just putting a little bit of moisture on there, and then I'm going to plop my clay down. I'm doing this so my piece doesn't come off the bat when I try to do the lift. So once again, I'm going to measure from the center. And last one was a 10. This is going to be an 8. I'm noticing an air pocket. This is Reclaim I'm using, so I'm just attending to that. All right, here we go again. I'm going to soften this outside area, and then now I'm coming back with this. So as I'm doing this, I'm kind of going like this. I'm trying to keep this on the bat itself. I'm just doing like this. And now I'm just raising up the walls a little bit. And last part is just to smooth the rim. All right, we're done. We can now go inside and finish up. All right, so this is the final step. I want to go ahead and put the cuts in here. Now it's really important that you don't let this get leather hard and then do the cuts, because you did all your measurements on a wet piece of clay on the cone. So if you wait for this to, it's going to shrink, and so your measurements will be off, is all I'm saying. So you could either cut now at the same time that you make the cone, or wait for both to be leather hard, do the measurements, find the right cutter, and then do the cut. So I'm just going to eyeball it here, because I have the middle already set up. And then let's do it for the next one. Now you could use, the MKM tool where you lay it over the piece and then you find, where the center is. That's fine too. I just think it's great if you can note the center when you're making the piece and just use that. So that's it. It's pretty simple project. I'm not gonna try to put this on here at this stage of the game, or even when it's leather hard. I am gonna wait until bisque to see how the measurements go. And for the bottom plate, I didn't show you that. I used just a plain plate using the same technique. You don't need the hole in that one. In fact, my first one was with a hole, and I regret it because now I can't just pick up the whole thing and move it. Anyway, that's it for today. Hope you enjoyed. Catch you later.